dark skin and a Georgia, melanin all over. Nobody can boga.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those who are new here, I'm Vanessa Buyai, and yes, still much welcome back to my YouTube channel. For the oldies, thank you for always tuning back to this channel. Aki, I thank you so much for the consistency, for the support that you guys have always given me. And if you're new and you've not subscribed, kindly do click on the subscription bar down there. It is written in red. If you subscribe, it will turn gray, and I really do appreciate yeah. So guys, today we're gonna tackle on the issue to do with sexual harassment. The reason why I have decided, like, today we will have to talk about we'll have some chit chat to do with sexual harassment. It's because last week we talked about consent, and I feel like the consent we spoke about last week was more about the sexual consent, and so I felt like in a way these two go hand in hand, because I have already spoken about consent. It's also important to inform people or educate people or make people understand the different forms of sexual harassment, what sexual harassment really is, etc. And yeah, first things first, we will start by describing what sexual harassment is. In simple terms, sexual harassment basically is any unwanted remarks or contact from one party to another that has not been given consent. And as I've said earlier, if you don't know what consent is, you can search on one of my videos. I have given it the heading consent, and you can listen to it, then come back here so that you can be at par with us. And under sexual harassment, we have three forms of sexual harassment. We have the verbal, we have the non-verbal, and the physical. In the physical forms of sexual harassment, we have hugging, we have kissing, we have unwanted touch, and I know you might be looking at me and then you're like, wait a minute, Vanessa, what do you mean that hugging is a form of sexual harassment? Yeah, hugging is a form of sexual harassment, and yeah, many people, we don't understand this. And I came to understand more about this the time when somebody told me that, me, I don't like to be touched. It gives me this type of feeling. Or I don't like to be hugged because it gives me this type of feeling. And most of the times, most of us break that rule, or we sexually harass our friends or loved ones by forcefully hugging them instead of respecting their word of them saying that I don't want to be hugged, or I'm not comfortable being hugged. But we just end up being like, you know what, I'm a hugger. So that you can, like, give them that. We sometimes might think that we are doing that as a form of expressing love, but we are making our loved ones, our friends, feel uncomfortable in the situation. The second form of sexual harassment is the verbal form of sexual harassment. In the verbal form of sexual harassment, mostly this happens by the words somebody says. Maybe they start sexualizing your body parts, and we have seen this in towns, around matatu stages, sometimes when you're passing by a crowd of people of same sex, and yeah, in our society we have made it a norm, but unfortunately it's a form of sexual harassment, so you should know today. And another thing is the sexting, the sexting and the sex chats, like the way somebody talks to you and they are trying to sexualize their conversation. if somebody is not comfortable, or if somebody has not given you consent for you to talk those type of things with them, you are sexually harassing that person, because maybe they're just taking in that which you are giving them, but they're not comfortable about it, and they have not given you permission to sex chat with them, so you are sexually harassing them. Another form of sexual harassment is the nonverbal form of sexual harassment. Under the nonverbal form, we have winking. And yeah, I know most friends or clique of friends love winking at each other. And that one, if you understand the code that you pass in your friend group, it's okay. But make sure, like, ensure you don't make it a norm that you go around winking to each and every person, because um nonverbal languages are misinterpreted from are interpreted differently from one region to the other. So you really need to be keen, because in another setting away from your friends, you might be sexually harassing someone while doing the wink, and for you, you'll be doing it innocently, but the reception, how the other person receives the the information you have sent through winking, itakuwa, as in, it will be opposite of what you expected. So we really need to be keen about that. Another one is sleep biting, gazing. Those are other forms of the nonverbal forms of sexual harassment. So we really need to educate ourselves more about these things. I've just mentioned but a few. Make sure you go research more on these things, get informed more about these things, so that while you're relating with people in your circle of friends, while you're relating with people in your environment, you can provide an environment that is friendly to everybody. Don't make somebody live as if they are tensed in the space they are in. Don't make somebody feel as if in the environment they are in, it feels like it's crowded, and yeah. So yeah, that's all I can say about the sexual harassment and the forms of sexual harassment. Aside from that, I wanted us to tackle on the issue to do with the effects of sexual harassment to people. So under the effects of sexual harassment, number one, we have depression. Sometimes sexual harassment can lead to depression, because this person, depression doesn't just start in a snap. It takes a process. Maybe it started from the process of this person was stressed. Why is so and so doing this to me? Why is so and so doing this to me? Why is this happening to me? Is it because I am this way? Is it because etc, and those stresses continue to pile up to the point that they become depression if this person doesn't get the necessary assistance they need from the environment that they're in, or from the support system that surrounds them, that is family, friends, or their other loved ones. And point number two, it can lead to one avoiding avoiding coming to the environment where the person who has sexually harassed them is around. If maybe you're doing something uncomfortable to somebody, you will make them be like, I can't go there because Vanessa is always there. I can't go there because there is where Vanessa has sexually harassed me, things like that. So we really need to be self-conscious. We really need to work on our emotional intelligence to make sure that we don't make people start like avoiding spaces that they are used to frequently. Another thing, it can lead to one changing their pattern of life. For example, maybe, or if not pattern, their daily activities. They can change their daily activities if not pattern. For example, maybe this person works in that environment, they work in that space, maybe they study in that space. Because of what you have done to them, you will force this person to leave the environment, or because of what other people can have done to them, it will force this person to decide, you know what, I do not want to continue staying in this space, I have to move. It can also lead to suicidal thoughts, depression. If not dealt with after some time, it can lead to one starting to have suicidal thoughts, which unfortunately to some it leads them dying by it leads to their death by suicide, which is a very painful thing, to lose our loved ones because we are not able to live and respect each other's boundaries in our society. Others, it can lead to the spread of diseases. It can lead to spread of diseases, the STIs, the sexually transmitted infections, and it's unfortunate, but it does happen. Those are the few points I have tackled. I have given you the assignment to go read more, get enlightened more about this issue to do with sexual harassment, types of sexual harassment. And lastly, I also want you to go read more on how to be a bystander and who is a bystander. A bystander is the person who is involved actively at the time when, especially when maybe a sexual harassment is taking place, So if you notice your friend, your neighbor, or someone is feeling uncomfortable in the space they are in, or if you sense maybe this person is undergoing sexual harassment, you can stand and safely, don't just do it ignorantly, you can stand and safely assist that person from that place. Maybe you can make an excuse, you're going to class, make an excuse, hey, come, let's leave, the event that we were supposed to go to is starting or something. You can just make an excuse to make them leave that environment. Or if you realize that that person has already been sexually harassed, you can help them by trying to find evidence so that you can report the perpetrator, So go read more about how to be an active bystander to your loved ones. And I guarantee you that this information will not only assist you now, it will also assist you and your surrounding environment. That is your loved ones, your friends, your sisters, your brothers, as in your family at large, and your friends, and also people in your community, because I believe we do things each day so that we can bring a positive impact to our society. I have a cold. That's why I've just tried to shorten this video as much as possible, but I believe you've gotten each and every point very clear. And if you have any comment, if you have any addition, if you have any question, you can ask me on the comment section. And if you've not shared this video with your friends, kindly do it for me. I really do appreciate. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. And
dark skin and a Georgia, melanin all over. Nobody can boga.